All right, everybody, we are live. Welcome in, everybody. I'm just getting a few things together. We are live DLMMing today on Meteora. We'll be talking about the down market as well as a few other different things along the lines of impermanent loss, one-sided pools, and things like that. So welcome in. Thank y'all for being here. Welcome in, everybody. All right, let's see here. I'm just getting a few things set up on my other wallet as well. These are some coins that we've been DLMMing, and we're going to continue to DLMM, which I'll talk about in just a minute. UFD is obviously way down. ARC is actually sitting pretty solid. So happy to see that. On UFD, I set up a one-sided pool, which is not currently active right now. But I set up a one-sided pool, and I did half of the UFD that I had collected from my previous pools. I did half of it in spot, and then I did the other half in bid ask. And so this is kind of a hybrid strategy. I wanted to be able to start earning fees right away once it starts pushing up into this range. But I also didn't want to have a large chunk of it sell down here. I wanted more of it to sell towards the end as it pushes up. I am in the 200 bin 1% with UFD doing this. And so this is kind of a DCA out strategy, as well as like earning fees as it like moves up and down through this. And so that's why I went ahead and set that up. And then ARC, this is the same pool that we've been running. It's a 100 bin 1% two-sided pool. I just claimed fees this morning. I think we claimed over $1,000. This pool has been sitting now for a little while. And it looks like, yeah, it's doing over 12% right now. We've been sitting between like 10 and 15%. We're near the middle of our range here, which is awesome. You can see here, ARC, this is around the middle of our range. I think we got in closer to the 200 mil, so just a little higher. But either way, it's been ranging really well. And when everything else dumped super hard, like it did come down, but it didn't even come down that hard. And so well within range, and been earning great fees along the way. So we are also looking at Swarm, which seems to be making a move up now. Some people were talking about it. It's doing pretty decent volume. And so we might get into this one also. And then some people are talking about H2W6, which has some decent volume this morning. The chart is not my favorite looking, but we're watching that one also, as well as anything else new that comes up. Thank y'all so much for being here. Welcome in, everybody. It is Friday. I did not stream yesterday, but I'm streaming today because I didn't stream yesterday. And yeah, glad to be here. Obviously, the market's down a little bit today. That does not stop us from DLMing and trying to earn some money, because there's a lot of tokens that are rallying back right now. So I think there's still a lot of money to be made. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But welcome in. Good morning, everyone. Glad y'all are here. We got a good bit coming in from both Twitter and YouTube. So thank y'all for being here. All right, let's see here. I think there's a lot of people that kind of have the mentality when the market's down of like touching grass, which normally I am in that mode. A lot of times I'm like, hey, just look, it's cool. We grind really, really hard when the market's up. And so when it's down like this, it's like, hey, maybe it's a good time to just step away from the computer, step away from everything, and take this time to have some time to yourself. We're coming up on the holidays. And so maybe spend some time with family or focus more on some other things, right? I mean, I think those are all great things. I do think that right now there's a lot of stuff rallying. And so I'm kind of, normally I'm on DLMMing like for 6 to 8 hours, like every day. Today, it'll be less than that. I will be on this morning. I'll be live streaming doing this, and then I'll do some more DLMMing later today. But I will be taking a little more time to prepare for myself going out of town for Christmas. I won't be doing my live stream next Monday or Tuesday because, or I guess Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe. I might go live on Christmas, but we will still be doing all of our giveaways. I'll have those all preloaded in so that we can still do those giveaways as well. But right around Christmas, I may not go live, or if I do, it'll be like for a short amount of time, just talking about the market or something like that. But yeah. Salami22, did you de-risk on Sol into stable before these dips, or do you just ride and hold through these? So normally I do watch Sol. Let me see here. So normally I do de-risk like that. But honestly, this market dip here was not super obvious to me just based on charts. And it happened, most of it happened overnight when I was sleeping. So let's see, we were over here, right? And you can see this support at 204 was like pretty decent. And then if you look even further back, there's some like right below around like 200 and 197 and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of resistance here. So I didn't really expect too much. Now, once it broke below like the 196, 197 area, I think that's where a little bit more of a free fall would happen, which is what it did here. But this all happened at night whenever I was sleeping. And so before I went to bed, it was around here, up around the not before I went to bed. During the day, it was around like the 217. And then it broke down around the 200 range, which again, I wasn't too worried about. There was many times where it kind of bounces around like a range like this, where it had previously bounced off of, like around the 200, 202. And when it does that, many times it'll shoot back up like this, right? So if I would have stabled at 200, you can see this happened here. And then look, the next day it went from 200 all the way up to 230, right? And so it's hard to know what it's going to do. Coming up on Christmas, normally the market picks up. The last few years, the market has not done this. This is the opposite of what it normally does. And the reason why is because of everything that came out with the feds and the inflation numbers, as well as some of the bills, people talking about like government shutdown. There's like all this stuff going on politically that's pushing and driving a lot of this down. And so this isn't normally the case. I think this is abnormal. Normally when you read a chart and you're looking at different stuff like this and you're looking at previous years, I think like that's all you can go off of, right? And so again, I'm holding Solana long term. And so I think someone had asked me, or multiple people had asked me recently, like, are you like worried or anything like that? And I'm not. Like, this could have gone much lower than 175, honestly. Like, it could go all the way down to like 140. Let me see the next big resistance point or support, would be around the 155 area. And then behind that, we sat around like this area for a long time before it broke back up. And so you're looking at like, I guess like around 125, 130-ish, 135. Yeah, kind of up in this area would be like kind of the next one. So honestly, I would be perfectly fine with it, even if it came all the way down to 135. We had a pretty big run up here and it sat around this for a while. And it's still honestly sitting really good. Like if you look at you zoom out on the chart here and you take a look, like this, look, ARK is a coin I'm really excited about right now. It's doing really well in the midst of everything. And look at ARK. If I zoom out on ARK, it's almost doing the same thing, right? Like if you look at it now, it's come up a little bit, but if it was like right here, I'd still be fine with ARK. I'm like, hey, it's actually looking pretty strong. It's way up right now, like doing really good. And so whenever I look at Solana, honestly, it's like, hey, it's basically doing the same thing. You know, like whenever I look at it, I'm like, this is not like a scary chart. People are looking at the micro. They're looking at it like, oh no, it was around 230, 220 for a little while. And now it's all the way down to like, 180 something, 190. Like that's a scary thing. But honestly, like this isn't a big deal. I think we just have to zoom out and realize like, hey, we had a really big run up. We broke an all-time high. And there was never a big significant dip. Like going from 265 to this 220, 230 area that it sat around was never a significant dip. Now, I didn't necessarily think that we would take this dip, but the fact that it has happened to me is not like a really big thing. It's not super scary. it's pretty normal. Again, like I think I would start to get worried if it broke below this one here, which is the 155, or yeah, right around there, 154, 155. And that would be the one where I would expect it to maybe go lower all the way down to like the 130s, 120s and stuff. And so again, that still wouldn't cause me to like over worry about it. I'd still be fine because again, like Solana has come way up over time. And so the fact that it's here now and it's taken a little bit of a dip, this doesn't really bother me at all. Like obviously I don't like seeing my portfolio down. Nobody does. But like if you're not willing to have your portfolio go down and sit through that to then take the wins, then you might not be cut out for crypto in the first place. You know what I mean? Like we are, it's just a different breed, right? The volatility on this is just what it is. So anyway, that's enough about Sol. But yeah, I think could it come down more? Yes. Do I expect it to? Not really. I mean, I think it has more upside here than downside. I do think that even if it does come down, I'm not too worried because I think once Trump gets inaugurated, I think we see crypto push up pretty strong, and then I think we see it continue to grow. My target for Sol is $500 by the end of 2025. I think that's what it realistically could hit. That's not like a conservative number, but it's also not like a really high number either. I think really high is closer to like 1,000, and I think so. I think that like, yeah, again, this is just the short term side of things. Like I said, I don't like seeing the portfolio down, but not too big of a deal. Also, one thing to take into consideration and think about with meme coins, like once Sol dips like this and I didn't stable it, I just started loading a lot of Sol into coins that I believed in. Because if you watch, like Sol bounces back slow, but if you watch the meme coins, like a lot of people sell and then you'll see the meme coins like pick up way faster. Sometimes like we even saw some meme coins after the dip like hit new all-time highs and stuff. And so there's a lot of stuff rallying back right now. As long as Sol doesn't dip any lower and it continues, it could like kind of range around where it is. Or if it comes up, either one of those scenarios, kind of a stabling or a move up slowly, either one of those, I think we'll see a lot of stuff bounce back today, which is why I'm watching it and hoping to capitalize on that. So home office hustler, UFD Sol has crazy fees. Yeah, it does. I'm in a one-sided pool just above this. So I don't think that it's active right now, but I'm okay with that because I think it does move up with soon. And if it doesn't, then I can always rebalance it down because I want to take advantage of the fees at this lower range also. Yeah, you can see it's just, I earned $1.32 and then it moved out of range. So, but I think it moves up. I think I created it around the 122 range just right here. So if it pushes back up here, we'll get back in a range really quick. And we're also DLMing ARC. And we're watching Swarm, which, dang it, we missed it because I was chatting about Sol. But once it broke above this line here, I said that it's probably going to do well and continue up. I would like to have gotten in here. Now that I haven't, I'm not going to get in here. I'm going to wait for it to dip down again before I get back into it if I do. Salami said, not getting excited yet, but maybe some me strength, still holding like a clown. Hey, don't call yourself a clown. If you believe in something, then don't worry about what other people are saying. Just hold strong to what you believe in. You'll either do well or you won't, but either way, you need to hold to whatever conviction you have. I think that Magic Eden has shown some strength, especially in the giant dip that everything took. I think that it's actually holding really good. Yeah, I think it moved up. Yeah, so it moved up here and then dipped back down. But honestly, considering if you zoom out on this, you can see, I mean, it had that massive dip, right? But I think because it had that, like, it actually wasn't affected at all by Sol dipping. It actually, if anything, went up. As Sol was dipping, people were like, hey, I'm going to load into the Magic Eden token. So this is a pretty significant spot for it to break above here. I'm not bullish on Magic Eden or anything long-term. I'm kind of neutral on it. I'm not sure how I feel about it. But I mean, me is a pretty big organization, so betting on them isn't a terrible idea. But this is a pretty significant one to see it move up. And then obviously the big one would be at like $3.90 on me here. So right there. Yeah, $3.95, $3.96 right there. Basically breaking above the $4 mark would be pretty significant for it. But I think it's doing pretty good considering it came all the way down to $2.58. And now it's already back up to $3.20. Volume on it's pretty good right now as well. Not like amazing, but pretty solid. So again, I'm not going to get into it, but I don't think you're crazy for believing in it. I personally don't have a strong conviction, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't. I don't have strong convictions about a lot of things that do really well, and I have strong convictions about things that sometimes don't do well, right? So it's definitely a mix of all that. So I think that I want to get into swarms. I was waiting to see if it was going to dip back a little bit more. Obviously, I wanted to get into it a little bit lower. Let's see here. But I think swarms has got good volume right now, really good volume. And it looks to be mostly moving up, and that's when we want to get into a coin. But I'm waiting to see if it's going to dip a little more. It's doing a little bit of sideways action. We want to see if it's going to dip or if it's going to keep going the way it's going. We could set up a one-sided pool here, but honestly, I think there's more upside than downside. So I don't think a one-sided pool is really going to do much. I think that I'm just going to go ahead and get into it now. I'm not saying you should. Normally, I'd wait for a little bit more of a dip, but I think with the amount of volume it has the potential to move up. And if it moves down a little bit first, that's fine, because I think in general it is in an uptrend. I wouldn't be surprised if it came back down some. But we're just going to go ahead and get into it now. And yeah, we'll set up a two-sided pool. Yeah, it looks like UFD has pushed back up. Oh, is it breaking out here? This is it's trying. That was a big green candle it just had, and then it got eaten. This is a pretty significant one for it to break above here. If it does, that's a good sign. Wouldn't be surprised if it pinged off of it a few times, though. I don't think I have a ton of Solana on my other wallet. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we got some unicorn fart dust, though. I haven't, I'm doing something on my other screen right now. Let's go ahead and get this swarms pool set up. I think we're going to go with the 100 bin 0.8%. The reason why is because it's going to have a dynamic fee that pushes up the fee percent higher anyway. 100 bin is pretty decent on range, nothing like crazy. But we aren't necessarily like bullish on this, like going to like 100 million or anything. We just want to capitalize on the fees now. Now, if it does go up, that's great. But we just want to get in and capitalize on the fees. So we'll get in now. It is kind of sitting sideways like this. But overall, it's looking more bullish on an upward trend than a downward trend with good volume. And with Sol pushing back up, I think it's a good time to get in. Really excited for UFD. If it breaks above here, that's a really good sign. It definitely looks like it's trying to. We'll see what it does. I'm going to get out of H2W6 because it's just not moving enough. The volume picked up, but then it's died down some. So we'll keep watching it, though. And then, of course, we are DLMMing ARC, which is just sitting nicely in range, earning us a solid like 10 to 15% a day. Even higher percentages when the dump happened, it was earning like, I don't know, like 50% or something, but that was just temporarily doing that. I want to get into swarms on my other wallet as well, but I'm short on Sol on that wallet because I have it all in UFD and ARC. I have a little bit though. Oh wait, I can claim fees on this one. I've got $1,200 in fees just sitting there. So sometimes when I claim the fees, depending on where the pool is at, what I'll do is I'll just claim them. I'm claiming both the token, in this instance, ARC and Sol. And then what I'll do is I'll add back in sometimes like just ARC, but then I'll keep the Sol so that I can use it for other stuff. Sometimes I'll add it back in kind of depending on what I think it's going to do. But I think a lot of stuff has more upside right now, the stuff that I'm looking at. You can see here UFD. This isn't considered breaking above it because it's like barely. I want to see a little bit more stronger action, but it definitely looks like it's trying to break above this. And again, these lines aren't perfect. They're, oh, actually, this line should be further down. So maybe it did break above it. It's right there. There is a tiny one here as well, though. So maybe it's considered kind of in between there. Either way, it's trying to break out. I wouldn't say it's broken out yet. but it's looking like it will. So that's exciting. Once it does there, then the next kind of big one will be around the 141, and then we'll all the way up to like the 154 range is like the next real big one. So we'll see. But I think we're about to see UFD send up pretty hard, so that's good. And then back over to Swarm. I'm waiting. I'm not buying it on my other wallet. I'm glad I got in where I did here. Obviously, I would have wanted to get in lower where I had showed y'all this resistance here. Because look, once it broke above here, you can see like it's sending. But now the next test is this all-time high here. And so since we got in down here, that's a good spot for us. We're kind of at the middle of the range here. I probably don't need this one down there. But if you're looking to get in, you don't want to get in near when it's about to test a previous high, especially an all-time high. You want to wait, because if it bounces here, you don't want to get in here and then have it bounce and come down and you be like you're basically, you don't want to be at the top end of the range. You want to wait to see. Now, if it starts to break above the all-time high, we'll get in, because then it's likely going to keep breaking out. But if it doesn't and it comes back down, we'll wait for it to bounce again and then get into it. Similarly to how we did here. It came up, it bounced, and then we got in. And so we'll keep watching that. But our Swarm pool is looking pretty good. We'll come back to it. It says it's earning 27, but just a minute ago it was 100. So who knows what it's actually at. Whenever you start a pool like that, it bounces around a lot. Yeah, UFD looks to be sending. It definitely broke out there, so I expected to see it go even higher. It'll definitely have some lows in here as well, like some dip backs before moving up. But overall, I think this is a really, really, really good, healthy sign. Let's check out the perps part here. I want to look at Solana and see what it's doing. It's important to look at Solana and kind of what it's doing when all this other stuff's going on, because even though it's ripping up right now, UFD, it could always come back, especially if like Sol retraces pretty hard. And so Sol doesn't look to be doing that. Oh, wait, I'm on the 1 hour chart. There we go. So we'll want to see Sol break above 193. Let's bring some of these back up here. I was looking at the macro. I mean, the larger view there. But I want to zoom in here. Oh, yeah, we definitely want this bottom one here. So 193 and then 199. And then the big one will be all the way up here. But either way, I think even if it ranges within here, it's fine. We just don't want to see it break too low. Probably like ranging above here would actually be the best. Like above this 181 range. But obviously seeing it move up even more would be a good sign. But yeah, it's moving up nicely. Taking a little dip back here. ARC's doing good. Swarm looks like it's about to test its all-time high, so we'll be watching that as well. All right, let me take some questions here. We're up to over 200 people watching. Thank y'all so much for being here. I normally stream on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, sometimes on Fridays as well. Yeah, come check us out. Yesterday, I did not stream because I was out. I was going to actually hang out with a buddy of mine, and then my son got sick, so I ended up hanging out with him there. Hanging out with him at the house. But so we're streaming today. We have a giveaway as well. If you haven't seen it already, let me find it here. The notifications. Here you go. So this one's a little bit more interesting than normal. I was like, hey, let's see if we can get some more people involved in this. I think this will give people who are actually active, not just like bots and stuff, a chance to win. And so what I did is we're doing a giveaway in UFD. I think it's pretty funny, the storyline behind it and everything like that, which you can read in my tweet here. And so all you have to do is engage with this post. And then you need to buy $5 of UFD and screenshot it in the comments. What you do with it after that, hey, no problem. If you would have bought the $5 of UFD whenever I posted this, you'd already be up over 50%. So, you know, hey, that's one thing. Yeah, go buy it, $5 of UFD, screenshot it down here. So far, there's only 33 comments, which means you have a really, really good chance of winning. Your odds on winning a giveaway on this one's probably better than any other giveaway we have. We're doing this with our 10 days of Christmas leading up all the way to Christmas Day. And so make sure you go into this. I won't be choosing this live. I'll be choosing this later on today after I'm not live anymore. So you have time to go put it in. You don't have to be live. You can just do this giveaway and then I'll message you and let you know you won. And I'll, like always, I put the winner in the comments as well. We'll be highlighting a new project or a new coin every single week. Every single day leading up to Christmas. So y'all make sure to go do this if you want a chance to win. it does look like Swarm's breaking out here. So on my other wallet, I'm going to buy some Swarm. I think it's going to create some new highs here. Now, we still may be getting in near the top of our range. I'm not sure how much it's going to move up from here. We did buy a small amount because we just don't have a ton of liquidity on my other wallet with it being an ARC and UFD, which is totally fine. And we're just going to set up a two-sided pool with Swarm on that one, just like we did on our current one. Which our current one's doing well. And you can see here it's dipping down a little bit. It hit a new all-time high. I'd expect it to dip down before moving back up, or just continue up. We'll see. We're going to set up the 100 bin 0.8%, just like we did on our other pool. Actually, I'm going to try out the 100 bin 1%, maybe. No, we'll do the 0.8%. I think that's good. There's a lot of liquidity in it, so. I think I just bought 6 Sol of Swarm to set this up. Cool. Or I could just flip it and earn 20% instantly because of that giant increase there. That's massive. I expect to see a little bit of a drawback from there. Let's see where our 100 bin is at on this one. It's going to be near the top of the range for sure. Yeah, way up here. We're already earning 140-something%, which I think will dip down a little bit as this goes up. But you can see here, even though we're in a 0.8%, the dynamic fee is much higher. If I refresh, it actually might even be higher than that. Looks like Sol is still very slowly fighting back up, so that's a good sign. Would love to see it break above this 193, even if it's only temporarily. I think that'd be a really, really good sign for it. Yeah, expect this dip down here, which is honestly perfectly fine. I need to refresh my pool on the other side, and I was kind of waiting for the dip on this because I didn't want to set it up here knowing it was going to dip. I'm going to set it. Oh, geez, it's launching right now. Do I just hold it on my other wallet? That's crazy. So this is why we read the charts the way that we do, right? Whenever it breaks out, it's not always going to launch like this. But in general, whenever it breaks certain thresholds, it does signal that it's most likely going to continue up in a positive direction, right? Now, it may only do that for a little while before breaking back down. But either way, we can see this is a pretty big like ramp here to where like it came down hard and then came up fast. And so it's doesn't surprise me that it ended up breaking out here. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to set up the pool right around where it is right now. I need to refresh it again because the pool's off by 5%. Let's see. All right, let me answer some questions here. We're going to keep watching it. I guess I'm going to set up the pool here. If it comes back down, it's no big deal because where we bought in at, it's up so much just from the big pump. A lot of people are going to take profit here. This is pretty normal, seeing this giant candle. I expect it to come back down before coming back up. It'll create a new support somewhere between here, most likely. It's not likely to come all the way back down here. It could, but I expect it to create a support probably, if I had to guess, here or here. But we'll see which one it does. Or even higher, but we'll see. All right, we got our pool set up on the other one, so keep watching that. And then let's see here. UFD still moving up really nicely. We're now up to 140 mil on it. ARC also moving up. Still just sitting really strong, earning us some solid fees. And Solana still moving up. So overall, everything's rallying back pretty hard right now. It's looking good. I think we're good to answer some questions. One thing I've said before in the past is that sometimes with doing the live streams, I sacrifice my focus on the pools. And so I want to make sure that I'm not doing that. I want to make sure that I'm focusing on what I'm doing. Obviously, y'all are learning from watching me do it. And then I'll take the questions whenever I do have a chance, like a moment to do that. So I don't want to miss out on anything there. Let's take some questions. Welcome in, everybody. We're now over 300 people watching between Twitter and YouTube. How to filter tokens which are listed 30 to 60 minutes ago. Hey, great question. I don't normally recommend just like getting into tokens that were necessarily listed 30 to 60 minutes ago. Low cap stuff, I'm actually moving away from more. I'll still mess with it a little bit here and there, but honestly, I'm really, really into the mid caps like Swarm here, and some of the higher caps like UFD. Like UFD and Swarm and Arc, like they're all earning me like really, really, really good percentages. Like, could I earn more on some of these low caps? Absolutely. But I just don't know that it's worth it. Like the amount of risk of having these low caps just like dip down, like, because like right now, Swarm just moved from 53 mil to 65 mil. That's a $10 million difference, right? The thing is that it could come all the way back down to here and not be a big difference, like not be significant, right? Like if I were to buy it up here near the top and it came down here, it'd be like, okay, yeah, that's not great that it came down, but it's not too big of a deal. Even if I sold it for a loss here, right? Like I'd be down like 15%. That's a 10 million difference though. Whereas a coin that's a 10 million market cap coin, if I get in and then it goes to 1 million, that's down 90%, right? Not 15%. And so I think that like I'm really more interested in a lot of these mid caps. Now, obviously there's more upside on some of the lower coins, but I find myself doing like quick trades. Like if I'm watching a chart, seeing a lower coin and I think it's doing well and it's going to go from like 2 to 4 or 2 to 6 million, like I'll just buy a couple $1,000s worth and I'll just like 2 or 3 exit if I think it's going to go up. And if I don't think it's going to go up like a ton, but it just goes up a little bit, I'll take like 20 or 30%. I just flip it and move on. Once it gets like to like the 10 million or higher market cap, that's when I'll start DLMMing it. I like it to go above 10 million. I'll still sometimes do a little bit of DLMMing on some smaller stuff, but I try not to too much just because, again, the risk is just so much higher, especially in a down market right now. And so I'm really, really happy with the returns that I've been getting on some of these higher market cap stuff. Mid to higher market cap. And so that's what I'm doing mostly right now. But that's a good question. Fart coin is doing over 40% right now. Yeah, so you're looking at a coin that's 1.2 billion market cap. Let's go look at that. That's doing insane volume right now. And people are earning over 40% on it. Hugo, I assume that's the 20 bin that you're looking at, right? Or was at one point almost 1.3 billion. It's down a little bit here, so I'm not going to get in here, but we'll see if it bounces off of this. This is it created a support here that it looks like it's trying to bounce off of, so we'll watch that. And got that one there. This is a pretty big dip, but either way, even if Fartcoin was only earning like 5 or 10%, it's over a billion market cap coin. Like that's pretty significant. And so like if you would have been DLMMing this and earning 20%, 10%, like that's like a really, really good on a day, you know? Does look like Swarm's ranging nicely right up in here. I would expect it to come back down a little bit, but it did find the support pretty much right where I drew it there. We'll see if it continues on that or not. UFD ripping up hard with just some little slight cutbacks here. I wouldn't be surprised if it has a larger one before it comes up and tests here, or if it just does whenever it tests off of there. And then ARC still moving up really strong as well. Love to see that too. So overall, all of our pools are doing really, really well. It's good to see UFD fight back after coming all the way down to the 80 something mil. I remember waking up and seeing it at 100 mil. I was like, dang, dude, like I didn't expect Sol to dip this much. I didn't expect UFD to dip this much. I was like, this one kind of hurts. I said, but at this point, I'm going to hold it. I do think it has the narrative to fight back. And then whenever I saw it at like 80 mil, I was like, dang, that sucks. I was like, I guess I'm going to be a community member if it goes down. But again, I still felt like there was more upside. And I was like, you know what? I really think this narrative can push. And so that's whenever I put out the post for the giveaway today on it. And obviously it's doing well. So sometimes you just have to hold and believe, and that's enough. Doesn't always work out well, but in this instance, so far it has. We'll see if it continues to do that. And we'll continue to watch some of these. So for criteria for a new coin is 5 mil 1 hour with over 1 million in volume. Still trying to turn 100 to 1K challenge. Hey, that's a cool challenge to do, Home Office Hustler. Yeah, you want to see the 5-minute volume, and you look at the 5 minute and 1 hour volume, and you want to see these high. The 1 hour volume, the lowest that I really like to see it is around the 500K mark. I prefer for it to be more like 1 million. 500K is kind of the lowest if there's not too much competition. It depends on the market cap of the coin, how much liquidity is provided, stuff like that. But in general, that's my initial indicator, right? Like if I look at the 1 hour and it's at like 200K, I'm like, this probably isn't the best in volume right now for us to DLMM. And on the 5 minute, normally it's around like 100 to 200K. Sometimes 50 to 60K is even okay, just because it dips down in the short term. But over the long haul of 1 hour, you want to see at least 500K, preferably though a million or higher on the 1 hour, because volume with DLMing is king. Good luck on that challenge, man. Only use one wallet, really. What's your setup? 67. I'm not sure what 67 means. 67 bins, is that what you're asking? This is my current setup for the 3 tokens that I'm on. I'll show you my portfolio here. I only have one wallet I really use. What's your setup? Do you have multiple like memes? Only invest in any others, majors? I mean, I have a bunch of Solana that I'm holding right now that I expect to go up. And then you can see here, this is how much I have. I didn't expect to hold this much UFD, but I created a 2-sided pool. And so I bought a bunch of it on the way down. Now I would hold half of this in UFD and half in Sol. But this is definitely more than I would normally do, but it is a larger market cap coin now, over 100 million. And so it's not like, this isn't like a huge amount, but I would prefer to have owned more ARK and a little bit less. Like I'd like this to be like between probably closer to like 12 to 15 mil and ARK to be closer to like 20 mil. That's where I feel comfortable with. And then Swarm's right around here, but this is this. And then I have, some Solana, as well as some Bonk, as well that I'm holding in my wallet. Those are like the big coins. So, yeah, you can see here, which I kind of expected, have a little bit of a dip back. Wouldn't be surprised if it dipped even further, before UFD then fights back up again. And it's going to be testing this 155 mil, which is the really big resistance that we'll see. ARK continuing to move up well. Swarms is dipping back down also. I expected to find a resistance, a support, potentially here or a little bit lower. It could also come all the way back to here, but I expected to probably find one higher than this and then start to move back up again as well. And Solana continuing to trickle up. Yep, continuing to move up. So that's good. We want to keep seeing that. That will be a good sign for us. We'll keep watching some of these. Let's watch Swarm right now and see where it's at. How about Seahorse? I haven't heard of Seahorse. It does look like Fartcoin's bouncing here, so that's a good sign. You could get into it here. It might be pretty good. I'm not going to get into it right now because I can only be in so many things at once. But if I wasn't in like ARK or something like that, I'd probably be in Fartcoin. It's a good one. I don't know if this is the Seahorse you're talking about. Honestly, haven't looked at this. Geez. It's at 4.2 million market cap. It went all the way up to 21 mil. I would not be in this. It's way down. The volume is close to okay, but it looks like the volume's dying. Volume was higher around here. So the 1 hour showing it a little bit higher. But the 5 minutes not terrible. If it ended up breaking back up and you like this coin, I don't know enough about it, then it could be good, but it's not one that I'd get into right now. Let's see, Beetle and Sol. I see Sol doing a quick 15-minute pullback off the FVG. Yeah, it's possible. What happened to fee printers? 2 DLMM pull, it's down to. So look, if I appreciate y'all asking me, or if you want my opinion on the pool and stuff like that, but like I've made it publicly clear before, like I don't manage the funds. So like I can't tell you what happened with certain things dealing with the fee printers funds. Like I push the Discord, the free stuff. Obviously I create content here. As far as what's happening with the actual portfolio and stuff, Mint completely handles that. The NFTs, he does all of that. I don't do any of that. And so, yeah, I know that he has a strategy and a plan. You know, obviously with y'all, if you bought the NFT, it's because you believed in Mint and the strategy and plan that he's doing. And so if so, just keep believing in that. If you want to get out, obviously you can. That's up to you. I'm a part of trying to build the free content side of things, being a part of the community. I love the community. I think that they're awesome. I think it's great to have such an active community. And I love doing this kind of content and stuff as well. So can't give you any details because I don't know. Hugo said, yeah, the 20 bin. So the 20 bin on the Fartcoin is doing over 40%, which is really good. And which pool do you recommend to jump? I mean, if you're looking for something just like really strong and stable, I really like ARK. It is about to test a previous high here. kind of around here, here, here. And so I would maybe wait to see if it's going to bounce off of this or break up before getting into it. Because if you get into it here, you could be on the high side. But either way, it's not a big deal because I like ARK in the long run. But you could wait to see if it's going to break out first. I really like ARK. ARK's earning me, I think, around 12%. I claimed a bunch of them this morning. Let's see. Yeah, it's earning me 12% right now. And we're on the high end, just on the top end of our range, which is really, really nice. But yeah, it's doing really well. I mean, if I could earn 12% on ARK forever, like if there's a way to just say, hey, like ARK's going to range around where it is, and then just you'll earn 12% forever, that's pretty amazing considering we have $15,800 in it, and 12% of that is $1,896. If I could earn $1,896 every single day, then we'd be sitting really good, right? I mean, that would be 56 grand a month. So I don't expect that to happen. The thing is that most of the time you don't earn 12% a day and you're just able to sit on it for a full day. A lot of times you need to get in and out of pools. And so, but yeah, obviously like this is really, really good. I actually have been sitting on this one pretty close to a day at this point. But that's not always the case. I wonder if normally I do metlex.io on a pool that I just got out of. Isn't there a place to see the real-time P&L on a pool? I'm Melly Mel. What's up? What have you missed? Just a few things talking about the market as well as some different coins. I don't know if I can see the current P&L on this, if it'll work. What's the site, if anybody can tell me, to see the active P&L again on your pools? I'm curious. It would need to calculate in any fees that I've claimed and stuff as well, which again, I'm not sure if it's done that or not. I think you need the withdrawal transaction for it to work on Metlex to do the P&L. Like I think I have to close out the pool for it to actually do it. I don't think it does it live. So I meant like you have multiple wallets separating your capital, stay strict to it. No, I don't. I mean, I have two different wallets, but I don't have them to separate my capital for like an efficiency thing or to like help manage it in that way. I just have it like that because they're two different sets of money that I don't want to mix together. One is a pool of resources, and one is my personal wallet. And so that's the main reason that I don't do that. You can do any TX of the pool. It's not showing the P&L on Metlex. Metlex may be down right now. UFD guy is live. That's good. I was wondering why it was fighting up so hard. That's a good sign. ARK as well, both moving up really nicely. Swarms is as well doing really good. All three of our pools are doing really, really strong. Let's go look. You can see ARK's doing that 12%. We're going to keep holding those. UFD, we had set up a one-sided pool. We did a hybrid strategy because it had come down so much and we were way down on it. I said, hey, I want to set this up so we can start earning fees, but at the same time, like I want to make sure that I sell most of it as it moves into the top end of the range. I did a 200 bin 1% because I wanted to have a big swing up. And so this is from where I entered, which is around the 122 mil, I think, right here. 96% would put me over 200 mil market cap. Like I think all the way up to like 220 or 230-ish. And then obviously most of it I'll sell towards the end. Whereas on the way down, I had a spot one-sided. And so the fact that I'm selling it like this means if it does break all the way to the end, I'll make more money selling it than I did buying it, which is good. And I would have collected fees both ways also. Even with it being at the bottom end of our range and a lot of our liquidity being at the top, we're still earning over 17%. I imagine we're also on a 200 bin pool. So I imagine if you were in like 100 bin or if you had your liquidity more concentrated, you could easily be earning 30, 50, even 75 or 100% on this, depending on how tight you go. But this is the strategy I'm using. I'm totally fine with just earning 16 to 20%. And then obviously as this pushes up, we'll earn more because more of our liquidity is concentrated up here. So that's kind of, we're going with like just a really conservative strategy on UFD, considering how much it dipped. And then you can see on Swarms, Swarms is doing really, really good. And I think, yeah, we're earning 86% here. This will obviously fluctuate up and down as the volume shifts, but we are at the top end of our range here. And we've already earned $200. I think we've had this up maybe 30 minutes, maybe less. And so we've already earned $200 on 13,500. So sitting pretty good. We will look for a really good exit on this. We're up on our liquidity. And so if Swarms ends up pushing back up here into like the 60, like getting close to the 70 mil range. We'll probably be near the top of our range. We'll probably just end up selling and getting out of it. If I can earn like, 20% ROI on a coin like this and get out, then I'm happy with that. I'm not like super bullish on swarms going to like 100 mil or more long term. So we're just trying to earn some really solid fees with the increase of volume here. And so I'll look to get out on the high side if I think it's going to keep moving up. And if it looks like it's not going to keep moving up, then we'll get out. But as of right now, it does look like it's doing fairly strong. It does look like UFD is bouncing off of this. This is like a significant resistance right here. This 150, what is it, 154, 155-ish here. It looks like it's starting to bounce. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it will. It could still fight back up and go above it. But we'll be watching that to see if it does break above it. Because if it does, that's a pretty good sign that it'll continue over 160. And then if it continues over 160, honestly, this is like the last big resistance it needs to break through before we see it potentially send way higher. So we'll keep watching that. I wouldn't. Oh, wow. That was a big MEV that just came in. So we'll see. We might see some really heavy price action here. The fact that he's live right now is a good sign. So we'll keep watching that. ARC's still moving up nicely, about to test off of that high there. We'll keep swarms open because this is the one that's the most volatile right now, and I'll get to answering some questions. I've been in ARC 2 days straight. Yeah, DJ Dave, I love that, dude. Can you tell me, like, how much have you earned on how much money, DJ Dave? Because, like, obviously, like, being in it 2 days is really, really good. You're probably, depending on the pool you have open, you've probably earned over 20%, if not like 30 or 40% ROI, I imagine, on ARC. You can do NETX, you have to Fartcoin doing over 100 and trending up. Yeah, Fartcoin is doing really good. When we looked at it just a little bit ago, it's trending up and doing really, really strong. We're just in a lot of other stuff right now, so it's hard. If we end up getting out of swarms, maybe we'll move into Fartcoin or something like that. Geek Lad. You can watch live DLMM polls on Geek Lad. A/B testing tool to grow your games. Yeah, Geek Lad. I don't know what that is. If it's not well known enough, then I don't go to the site and mess with it. So we are watching swarms here. Looking like it's moving into some sideways action here. So if we watch it bounce back and come back up here, we might, just depending on what it does, we're going to look for an exit, whether that's waiting on it a little while before it to break up, or if it breaks down too low, we'll exit. So we'll look for both of those options, or if it's going to, continue sideways, we'll just keep holding it for now. So UFD looks like it is trying to break above this 154, 155 resistance, which is a pretty significant one. The 163, 164-ish will be like the really big one, though, if it does break above here. And ARC testing on its previous high over here as well. It's good to see, though. All right, let's see here. Some other people are posting about another coin I want to look at. It's the yes, no coin. It's doing good volume right now. 1 hour is at 1.6 mil. The 5 minutes, 184. It is breaking above some pretty significant ones right now after it came back down. Let's see. This is the one that it's looking to break above. That should send it even higher if it does. We might get into this. Let's see. I'm going to get this ready in case it does. I'm not going to buy it yet, but it's at 21.6 million market cap. Does look like it's breaking, so we're going to get into it. If it'll let us. And then we might set up a one-sided on this because it's swinging up so heavy right now. And that way we don't need to put in any more SOL into it. Potentially, let's see. Yeah, let's do a one-sided pool on this yes or no error. Yeah, this 100 bin 2% looks pretty good. Considering we're doing it on the upside only, That's glitched out. We'll refresh the pool. See if we got any more questions. Hey, we're almost up to 400 people watching. Thank y'all for being here. Fridays are usually a little bit slower compared to like Mondays and Tuesdays, but thank y'all so much for being here. I know y'all have busy days, and the fact that you've taken time out of your day to watch me really, really means a lot. Hopefully you learned something along the way and I can help out in some way possible. Yeah, we'll do this. So we're going to set up a 100 bin step, 2% base fee. We're just going to do a spot on the way up. Again, this isn't one that we're like, hey, we're believing this goes to 100 mil. We just want to capture some fees on the way up. The fact that it's broke over the 21 mil range, I think means that it could go up more. We might have wanted to enter that pool just a tad bit earlier, but so it may come out of range on the bottom side before coming back up, which we just set up the one-sided pool. Another way that you could do this is you could actually just do like slightly less on the lower side, like this, and then I'd have to restart it if I wanted to bring that range in more, since I'm adding to it. But basically what you would do is you would do like this, and then you would just tighten it up like this. If you think that it's only got a little bit of downside, you know what I mean? You can obviously set up like two positions like this if you think that it's only got a short amount of downside compared to the upside. So just putting 10 SOL in, I shortened it up. Normally I would do this all in the same position, but because I created the other one and I don't feel like changing it out, we're going to create this down position here on a slightly tighter range, which it did complete. And then that way we'll earn a little bit as it dips back down here. I do expect, because it broke up, that we see more upward action than down. But you know what? Let's put a little bit of SOL in, capture a little bit of fees there from that. We are still watching Swarm. Volume moving down just a little bit, but overall still really strong. I expect it to continue sideways before showing us what it's going to do next. I do like these mid caps like this because the volume's so high. It has a lot of potential for higher earnings on a mid cap like this, while still retaining it being not as risky as like a super low cap. And then obviously UFD did bounce off of this resistance here, which is the really big one I talked about before breaking up. The biggest one being the 163.5, 164-ish, but this one's also pretty significant, which is totally fine. It could not break above this right now, may come back down for a little while, or it could somewhere around here find another support before breaking back up and then going above that. So we'll keep watching. There's kind of multiple little supports here, but I think this is the bigger one that it would potentially bounce off of. Swarm, and then ARC also kind of testing the top end of this. So we'd like to see it break out above there, but overall we're happy with ARC. We're at the top end of our range. It's kind of the range we're looking at here between the 189 all the way up to the 222 right now. But yeah, let's see. I'm up 30%. Degen Dave, nice. That's awesome, dude. On ARC over 2 days. Glad, man. Degen Dave, did you hop in because I talked about ARC and you got in, or you were already in before I talked about it? How long would you stay in a DLMM? Zenitsu, it all depends, man. Like I would stay in a DLMM for days or weeks if it looks really strong. Like with ARC, we've been in ARC for, now we may not be in this exact pool for like multiple days, but I've been DLMMing ARC for like 3 or 4 days now, I think. It's been really, really strong. I mean, I remember when we were DLMMing ARC when it was like much, much lower. I think it was around 50 mil maybe. And we've been DLMMing it up and down all the way. But once it broke above like 150 and it's been between like the 150 and 250 range, we've just been DLMMing it on a 100 bin step, 1% pool. And it's been doing really, really well staying between that, mostly staying between like the 170 to 220. But a few times it's broken up and below those as well. But that's a great question. It all depends. Sometimes I'll get in and out of one real quick. Like with Swarm, I don't think I'll be in Swarm for hours, right? Like I'll keep watching it. Maybe I will be if it just stays like this the whole time, I'll just stay in it. But I imagine at some point it's going to show us that it's going to break down or back up. If it does, then I'll just get out of it. So yeah, we'll just see depending. Before you go to sleep, you sell all coins. So it really just depends. Like last night, I overnighted ARC and I overnighted UFD. Now, I wish I wouldn't have overnighted UFD, but I had no idea that SOL was going to dip the way that it did. And so it's hard to know. Also, I think UFD is fighting back well right now. So I'm not too worried the fact that it did come down. But normally it just depends on the coin and the market cap. Normally I'm not going to sleep on one that's like a 20 or 30 million market cap coin. I'll just close it out and I'll just take my profit at some point before I go to bed. And then I'll look to hop into it again the next day. So it just kind of depends, but normally I'm not overnighting it unless I really like it, which like with UFD, it's been moving up. Honestly, I think UFD has the potential to go way higher. Not saying it will, but I think it could hit like 300, 400, 500 million market cap. And so I think, with UFD, I was like, hey, like it already did it to me once where I didn't overnight it. And it went from like 20 something to like 50 mil. And then it went from like 50 to 100 something. And so I was like, man, like it could just keep doing that. And so I did overnight it. And, but obviously there's risks in that. I actually woke up at like 3 a.m. and saw it down. But at that point, there wasn't much that I could do. So just be careful with overnighting it. When you're first starting off and trying to grow your portfolio and you don't have as much to risk, I would definitely just take profits where you can and move on. And then the next day, find the new play, whether that's the same coin or another one. And don't just FOMO on a coin just because it has gone up in the past. Not everything goes up forever, right? It just doesn't. No matter how good it is, it just doesn't always go up forever. There's always big dips. So just watch for that. Also, I'm curious about what Sol's doing right now. Yeah, see, seeing everything kind of stall out a little bit, ARC, UFD, swarms, all that kind of stuff, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Sol was starting to take a little bit of a dip, which, again, this is fine. But it was moving up really nicely and everything else was kind of following it. So it makes sense. But that everything else is kind of doing a similar thing. You can see that all of it's kind of doing that. We're still in this yes, no error coin as well. So we'll keep watching to see what it does. If you think a coin will pump, you can add Sol 2 and the coin 2. Why you added instead a Sol and one-sided. So with the yes, no coin, what I did was I added it all one-sided, but then I was like, it might have a little bit of a dip downward before it comes back up. And so because it did that, I was like, let me just add to the downside a little bit, not nearly as much. And we earned a little bit in fees here. And then that way, if it does go to the downside a little bit, we'll still capture some of it. I don't normally add it as 2 positions. I would just add it as 1 position. But since I already created this other one, I was like, I don't want to like close this out and create a new one. I liked where I added this one in at. And so it made sense. I captured a little bit on the downside. I made like $15 and now I can close that pool out because it is now pushed up on the upside. It's kind of as if I would have created 2 of them. But in this instance, I created 2 separate ones. And then I just removed the bottom side Sol one. Now we're earning 263% on it and it's moving up nicely into our range. We're still watching swarms here, breaking off of this. And then UFD is taking a little bit of a dip down, which is fine. I expect this to happen, even if it comes all the way down to like the 117, which I don't think it will, but even if it did, totally fine. It's taken a lot of pretty big like dips. So it wouldn't surprise me if it came down to there before it broke back up, but I think it will probably make a new support somewhere up in here. We'll just have to see. ARC's ranging well. This is what I was saying with ARC. Like you could have gotten in before this, but wait for it to dip like this and then come back up. So wait for it to dip, bounce again, and then maybe get into ARC. UFD, similarly, if you're watching it and you haven't entered into it, wait for it to bounce off of like this down here or a little higher and then get back in. Same with Swarm. Swarm, you could get in here, but honestly, I feel like it could dip below this mark. You can kind of see it looks like it's in a downtrend. It does keep testing off of this, which is good and coming back up, but it wouldn't surprise me at some point if this did break back down. If it does and the volume's dipping a little bit, we'll probably just close it out. We'll still be in profit because we got in way down here. But yeah, we'll just keep watching it to see. So if the volume does pick back up or this does start to trend back upwards instead of downwards, then that could be a good time to get back into it. So we'll keep watching. I feel like a G Daily Learning and DLMMing live with you. Hey, Crypto Finance, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate that. I was already in before you mentioned it. I actually started in the very beginning from the pump, exit, and re-entered. Hey, DJ Day, that's awesome, man. Jen's asking a long question here. Let's highlight this. Hey, when an LP breaks out of range because the token dropped, what is the best option? Do you close the position, sell half the token for Sol USDC, and then reopen the LP, or just wait a couple of hours to see if the token goes up again and re-enters the range? So it depends on what you're doing. you're specifically talking, I think like Sol USDC is like kind of in its own class compared to like meme coins, the DLMMing of meme coins that we do. And so I think that with Sol USDC, I always rebalance. I like to rebalance before it goes out of range. Because if it goes out of range too far, then you're closing out. You bought, let's say it went down to $200, right? And your range, let me pull it up here. So let's say like when this dipped down, you were like well in range. And then when it came down here to like the $200 mark, that's the bottom of your range, right? But you don't see it here. And so what ends up happening is it goes out of range all the way down to like 194. Well, now whenever you rebalance the pool, because it went out of range, you're in 100% Solana now, right? But the problem is now your Solana is worth, if you see it down here, is now worth $6 less than it was up here. So now when you go to rebalance, if you sell your Solana to USDC to rebalance, you're losing $6 per Solana that you sold. And so it's not good. You'll end up, if you keep doing this every time, you'll lose money, which is what was happening with HawkFi, which I'll talk a little bit about HawkFi. We're not using it right now. I still really do like HawkFi. My strategy around it's a little bit different. I'm no longer letting it auto rebalance my pools. I let it auto compound fees. And then I personally rebalance manually. And the reason why is because of this. Once HawkFi has the event-based rebalancing, I will allow it to rebalance my pools again. The problem was I was losing some money because it was doing exactly what I'm talking about here. It checks it every hour. The problem is that if Sol dumps or goes up very quickly, it can move, $5, $6, $10, even $20 within an hour, right? Like the price can change a lot. I mean, this right here, you can see happen just within a few hours. And so because of that, it may miss out on rebalancing and you'll lose a little bit of money. And so I like to rebalance once my pool gets to roughly 80 or 90% on Sol USDC to either side. That way you're always rebalancing before it gets out of range and you're not losing out on your token being a lower value than whenever you bought it at. And so with Sol USDC, yes, once it hits that, like it's got like 10% left in the pool or even 85%, then I will rebalance it and I'll just take however much Sol is there. I'll sell it, get the USDC or vice versa on the top side. I'll sell my USDC for Solana and then just keep doing it that way. And if you do it that way, I'm not too worried about it because again, like even though Sol's dipped down here, like we're not worried. We're happy to acquire more Sol because we believe Sol is going to go up in the long term. My end of 2025 kind of goal, what I would like to see Sol at, what I think it could be at is around the $500 mark. And so I think that right now, perfectly happy with it being where it is and just accumulating more Sol and more USDC by doing pools like that. Now, when it comes to meme coins, I don't trust them as much. If it goes below a certain range, many times I'm just going to get in and out. Now, ARK's one where maybe I would do that because I've really liked ARK. It's shown some pretty strong consistency and fight back, whereas with some other coins, I may not. Now, with UFD, when it went below my range, I didn't have time to see it. It moved really quickly, and it ended up going way below. So I did not rebalance it. I held it. I waited for it to come back up to the 122 range, which is where where the end of my pool exited for UFD. And then I reset up a one-sided pool on the way up. And when I did that, it's now been earning fees the whole way, and I'll sell back out of it as it breaks back up, if it does, but hopefully it does, above the 200 million market cap again. So that's kind of the plan there. YNE is doing really, really well right now. I'll come back to answer some questions in just a minute. I do need to check on some of these pools. Obviously, we're earning pretty strong on the fee side of things. On our YNE pool, you can see we set up just a 100 bin 2%. And so earning almost, over 900% in the fees. I mean, we have $6,500 in liquidity here, which we entered with less than that. I think it was in the 5,800 maybe, but obviously it's gone up in value as this is pushed up, and we've earned almost $600 almost $600 in fees as well. So YNE doing really good. We got in at a good time as it was breaking up and above. And we'll continue to see if it's going to move up and get out of our range. And if it does, we'll be happy with just collecting the fees and moving on from that. So we'll keep watching YNE. Swarm's still doing good. Like I said, it does look like it was kind of trickling down, showing it was going to stay near the lower end of this. At some point, volume may pick back up and it'll come back up nicely, or it'll end up breaking back down below here, in which we'll close it out and be happy with the profit we took. UFD found a new support like I thought it would between this one and this one. That was a pretty big drop considering that it was moving up. It's supported here and it's now bouncing back up. So I'd expect to see it maybe continue here for a little while, or maybe just break out above the 154 range, which would be cool. And ARK still doing its thing, still earning 10 to 12%, just moving slowly, but moving consistent, staying in range. So everything's looking good there. I want to keep watching YNE and I want to keep watching Swarm. These are a little more volatile, lower mid-market cap coins. And so we want to see where they go. Pingu seems still in a good place to DLMM. It might be. I can take a look at it. Pingu was doing well, was holding fairly strong as far as like price and stuff. I'm not sure where it's at now, but it's also doing pretty good volume. It's consistently done like over 1 million volume on the 1 hour, usually like 2 or 3 or 4 million. You can see here like the volume has stayed pretty steady. Now, obviously, it dipped this morning as well with everything else. Went all the way down to 2.3 cents, but now is all the way back up. So it's fighting back pretty strong as well. So we'll continue to see if it does that. But I think DLMMing Pingu over the long haul seems to be doing pretty good. I mean, everybody's claimed at this point that's going to claim. There may be some people who do, but like all the significant amounts have already come in and have sold. So at this point, it's in price discovery. So we'll see where it's at. I'm not going to DLMM it right now. I want to see it find price discovery more, similar with like Magic Eden, some of these big drops. But I think it could be good. The volume's decent enough. Like it seems like it's pretty solid. Still watching YNE here, see if it breaks out more. UFD's fighting back hard. Let's go. Loving these ARK fees. Yeah, ONJ, I agree. Bro, Don is saying you keep using the computer. Sados, I have no idea what that means. I wish I rebalanced my USDC soul pool before it went out of range. Yeah, Degen Dave. I know it's tough because sometimes when it moves quick, you can't catch it in time. Check UFD. Yeah, I did. It's doing good. We'll continue to watch it, but right now we're happy with where it's at. Again, like our goal for UFD is like 220, 230 mil. Which is this line right here. That's this one here. Obviously went all the way up to like 275, but we would be happy with if it breaks back above 200 mil at all. We would be happy to just sell and take it from there. Our overall TVL from where we got in at to where if we sold it all at 200 mil, we'd be roughly break even on it. But with all the fees we've earned on the way down and back up, we'd be way up in profit. So YNE does look to be breaking back up again. It's definitely near the top end of our range at this point. Yeah. We'll just go ahead and close it out here. We've earned $750 in fees, and the value of our pool has gone up almost $1,000 as well. I can show you all this on Metlex whenever we get out of this. This is just a quick in and out. Could this thing do way better? Absolutely. I'm happy with this quick profit. So that's why we're just going to sell it. We're going to come over here and we're going to sell our YNE, which we don't have a ton of it because all of our pool is mostly in Solana. This is basically just the tiny bit that was left as well as the fees that we've earned. And then the rest would be in Solana. So while it's up, though, we're going to sell it there. And then, yeah, we'll see where it goes. Let me see here. I don't think I bought any YNE on my other wallet. I think I just had ARK, UFD, and Swarm. Just double checking it real quick. Yeah, that's the case there. UFD does look to be breaking down here. We'll keep watching it. I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't be surprised if it did come back down a little bit further before moving back up. But yeah, we'll keep watching and see. Swarm's continuing to fight, doing really good, honestly. Looks like it's picking up some volume here maybe to break back up again. Yeah, yes, no, error is ripping. So if you're in this, congratulations. It's doing really, really well. We're happy with the profits that we took. Let's go show that on Metlex. You can go to your transactions. You just go to the most recent ones, which this one is showing from December 15th. we'll just go to SolScan and pull it from there. Come on, man. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Swarms is breaking back up nicely. We'll see if it bounces off this. If it does, then we'll probably sell here. If it breaks above this, then we'll hold and wait for it to ride up a little bit and then sell up higher. So we'll keep watching that. Yes, I am a human. We're just going to put our wallet into SolScan here so that we can see because DeFi activities. Yeah, remove liquidity. This is the one. Signature here. Perfect. And then we'll go to Metlex P&L. We'll enter that in. So this is on the YNE. We were only in it for 17 minutes and 25 seconds. We made $782 in fees, and we made roughly $1,000 in the overall TVL. So we ended up being up 30%, almost 31% on this within 17 minutes, which is obviously really, really good. So I will share that. Looks like some other people were sharing some UFD and some YNE P&Ls in our Discord and fee printers as well. Glad to see it. Somebody, yeah, it looks like BLK Forest, congratulations. It looks like he earned 35% P&L on his YNE, so that's pretty cool. Did pretty well there. We'll continue to watch it. We might get back into it if it dips again. Swarm does look like it's testing right off the top there. We're going to close it out and see if it's going to continue downward or if it's going to fight back. But we've been earning really well off of Swarm. I'm very much, especially in the down market right now, in the mindset of taking profits when things are good. And so obviously we're at the top end of our range when where we got in on Swarm. We've earned, like $320 something in fees. And we are at the top end of our range here. So we're going to close it out. We'll see. It might come back down. It might actually fight back up. I'm not too sure. And so I'm just want to close it out while it's near the top end of there and see. Sometimes it'll dip a little bit and then actually fight back up. So we'll see. But I'm just going to hold it because if it does fight back up, then we want to sell it higher. And if it doesn't, then we'll just sell it where it's at. So we're not selling it yet. We're just getting the wallet primed. Actually, it does look like it's dipping down. So we'll go ahead and sell it. I can see it at the top of my screen here. It says it's not going to go through because of the slippage. Let's try it again. All right, that one should go through. All right, and we're good on Swarms. I'm not going to do the P&L. The P&L is going to be a little bit less, but we probably earned like 10 to 15% on Swarms, both from the TVL and the well, it does look like it's picking back up here. We sold it right around here, though, which is good. That's right around where we exited. Again, Swarms may be a good long-term haul. Like, there's nothing here that makes me think it's necessarily going to go down. I just like to close out near the top of my range because, obviously, that's where I have the most value. It does look like UFD is fighting. The volumes on it's died down a little bit, but still really, really good volume on 5 minutes, still at 200K. So that's still really strong. And ARC also just slow and steady, doing really well. So I don't need to check in on that one every time. But if you are looking to get into YNE, I'd wait for it to dip into back somewhere down here, bounce back up, and then get in. So we'll see. It's probably going to dip a little bit first before it goes back up. Swarm does look like it's testing its all-time high here. I'm not sure if it'll break through. It's kind of looking like it will. We'll see if it does. We could have held a little longer, but all good. Glad to take our profits where we did. Very cool. All right, let's answer some more questions. Hey, we are over 500 people watching on a Friday. That's really, really good. Fridays are usually slower, so thank y'all so much for taking your time to watch me today. Bro, do you have more Vector? Gimme. Oh, yeah, we'll do some Vector code giveaways for sure. My first 30%, BLK Forest. Hey, first 30%. Let's go, dude. So the first time you've been DLMMing and earned 30% or more, the position really made my day though in this bloodbath market. Absolutely. People ask all the time, can you make money in a bear market, right? Obviously, we're not in a bear market. I want to make sure y'all understand that. We are just in a dip. We are very much in a bull market. The fact that we have coins pumping the way they are right now while the price of Sol is down is a very clear indicator that we are not in a bear market. Okay, don't let anyone tell you that. And so, but even though we are down, like it does show that even whenever prices of stuff are going down, there's always ways to find coins that are going to do well. And so obviously if everything is just always going down, then it's harder to make money. You still can, but it's harder for sure. But even in down markets like this, you can find stuff that's doing well, that goes up. You can catch it. Even if like something is going down overall, there are always times where you can pick back up on it. So for instance, like this here, right? Let's say we're looking at UFD. You could have got in to UFD down here, DLMM'd it, earned a bunch of fees as it moved sideways and then moved up, and then sell it and make money. Now UFD could come all the way back down, way down. Who knows? I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying it could. And if it does, well, there's always these like moments in time where it did well. Even if you look on it like a super short scale, you could have gotten in here and made money. Or even on an even quicker one, is that even while it was in this downtrend, it made some pretty significant moves from like 150 mil here to 163 mil here, right? So like even if you were to get in here and sell here, right? Like, or maybe you even sold once it came back down because you were DLMMing it or something. You held it through here and then sold when it came back up here, right? Like there's ways to find different wins within charts, even when stuff is trending down overall. And so it does make it harder in a bear market, but it is something to consider. Like even if the market does die down some, like there's still plenty of opportunities to make money. And yeah, you always want to take profit for sure. I'm even looking at like with the volatility of Sol, like I like holding Sol long term. So again, I'm not too worried about it going down, but I am looking at potentially just holding like 15% of my portfolio or 20% of my portfolio in USDC all the time and leaving it in like a lending pool that's earning like anywhere between like 16 to 30% or something. And then that way I'm still earning on it. But at the same time, if I need to, I can pull it out and buy on dips and stuff like that. And so it's hedging a little bit for protection against the market going down. It's kind of making sure that I hold those profits whenever I earn them. And it's a much slower, but still way better than traditional finance earnings of like 16 to 30% as well. So that's something that I'm considering doing also. It's important to take profit. Absolutely. Hey, dude, does the HawkFi wallet work? Does it auto claim in there if you have auto compound off? Does it auto claim? It won't auto claim if you have auto compound off because auto compound needs to be on for it to claim. It does work. I use it. Like I said, I'm just not currently using it because right now, if you set up a pool and try to auto rebalance with it, the auto compounding works great. That's my favorite part. But the auto rebalance side of things does it on an hourly basis. And so I mentioned earlier how like you can lose money if it takes like 30 minutes to an hour to rebalance a pool if the price goes down below where you bought it at too far. And so because of that, I'll be using it. Right now, I'm just not, but I'll move my money in and out, especially over the holidays when I'm not able to pay attention to it as much. I'll put it in here for it to auto compound the fees for me. And then I'll manually rebalance. Now, once they come out with the event-based rebalancing, then I will put the auto rebalance on because it'll do it based on when my pool gets to a certain spot, which is what I want it to do, which is what I would do. And that'll really be a big game changer once it does that. So what's the purpose of the HawkFi wallet? Why do I get tokens in there? I'm not sure what you mean, NFT Lano. Maybe you could DL me and send me like a screenshot of what you mean when you say the HawkFi wallet. Like when you say wallet, are you just talking about like the pool here? Because like I don't have a HawkFi like wallet specifically. I use like my Phantom wallet, so I'm not sure what you mean. What about your HawkFi Sol USDC? Yeah, so I don't have my Sol USDC pool right now up. I know I was doing like that challenge. I stopped because even though I was up overall, I noticed that I was losing a little bit because as it was rebalancing, if it took too long to do it, there was a discrepancy in the price and it was causing me to lose like $100 here, $100 there. And it was hurting me overall. Yeah, send me a Discord message. I can help you there. Tell us which bin and fee is better to jump on. I'm not sure. I can't just tell you like the best possible option. You have to make financial decisions for yourself. I can tell you what I'm doing currently. But I'm not too sure what you mean by that. So we're still watching UFD here. It does look like it's potentially going to bounce back off of the support which it had here. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if it came all the way back down to like 111 or 115 ish. What is this? Yeah, 115 ish before breaking back up. 111. Sorry, before breaking back up. But yeah, we'll continue to watch it. Obviously, it's still in a really good, strong upward trend. Right here, it's moving sideways, but as long as this continues to move up at some point, it'll continue that. Now, if it does break back down here, it will look like a downward trend, and we'll have to watch to see what it does. Either way, we're earning pretty good on it. Yes, though, is also still doing really well. Obviously, we got out of this one and Swarm. And even though both of them are up higher on both of our pools, we still made between 10 to 30% on both of them, and happy to move on from them. I'm actually going to go ahead and get off of them. I think both of them are good pools to be in, though. So if you're interested in that, you can check it. Somebody bought a massive green candle of ARC here. You can see compared to the rest of the volume, it absolutely shot up, which I think probably would have shot up our ARC pool fees as well. Let's see, because we were getting around 10 to 12%. It may still be like that. Yeah, it's still around that. I've been in this pool for like a day or two, and so that isn't going to throw it off too much because it balances over that time. But really, really good on the fees here. And you can see we set up a hybrid on UFD. We set up a hybrid spot and bid ask, which you can see here. So basically, whenever UFD came down, I had no SOL left in my pool. I had all UFD. And so once it went way down. But once it came back up to the 120-ish mil range, I went ahead and set up the pool here. And I did excuse me, I did half spot. And then I did the rest of it on bid ask. So it does kind of this hybrid. Because if I would have done bid ask, then it would have not been collecting very much fees down here where it's moving up and down a lot. And I wanted to try to capitalize on where it's at now, as well as worry about or try to capitalize on it as it moves up also. This will go all the way up to like 230 mil because I did a 200 bin 1%. But we're earning 20% or higher on it. So doing really, really well there. Lots of fees. That's the goal. Sell out of it, DCA out of it on the way up, and earn a lot of fees as it does that. Now, if it does break back down, we may need to rebalance it. We'll have to figure that out if it does. But it's good to see it move up from like the 80 mil range. Obviously, this gives us more confidence in it over the long term. So we'll continue to watch it and see where it goes. And yeah, we can check out some new coins as well. Let me refresh this. Thanks, brother, from Scotland. Great tutorials. Is it possible to DCA SOL in on a bid ask on other assets upside, or only as it comes down it swaps to it on bid ask? So if you have a token in SOL in a pool, SOL is going to be on the upside, and your token's going to, or sorry, give me a second. Whenever you put it into the pool, you'll have SOL on the downside and you'll have the token on the upside. But as it moves up, you'll have more SOL, to where once it moves completely out, you'll have just SOL. Where on the way down, when you DCA out, you'll have all your SOL will be transferred into the new token. So if it goes down, you'll have just the token. If it goes up, you'll just have SOL. So that's the way that it works. That's how it's done. Hopefully that answers your question. Also, thanks for being here from Scotland. All right, cool. Let's see what else we got. So yeah, I mean, Swarms and YNE are doing really, really good volume right now. So these are probably still two good ones to DLMM. Again, I decided to get out of them just because I wanted to take the profit. But you can also see the other ones that we're DLMMing are UFD and ARC, which are also both really high in volume right now. And so obviously that's a really good sign that these coins we've been in for a little while, both UFD and ARC, and they're still sitting high on volume. That's on the 5 minute. If we move to the 1 hour, you can see it's still the same here, UFD and YNE. Fartcoin's a little bit higher. It's also a much higher market cap, but Fartcoin's a good one right now as well. And then you can see UFD, YNE, Swarms, and then you can see ARC's a little lower here, but still doing really, really good. So yeah, overall good to see all of these on the chart. Someone had asked me about Pingu. It's looking pretty good. Also, obviously volume is king, but one thing you have to look out for, like this coin, Trump coin right here, is only 156K market cap. It's obviously did a lot of volume, but a lot of that could be fake or it could have been real, but and then it rugged, whatever, as well as like Earl, some of these other coins. So volume isn't everything. You need to look at the market cap. You need to check out the project, things like that. But volume is obviously the first indicator to be able to look and see how well things are doing. So see if UFD looks like it's broken down to the bottom end of our range. It's probably going to go out of our range. You can see here it's right at the bottom because I've opened it around the 121, 122 point. I can't remember. But I would expect it to potentially bounce somewhere around here. So we'll just leave the pool open and see what it does. We don't want to add any more SOL to the bottom side. We have plenty of UFD. We just want to see that price action on the upside. Hey, also, if you're here, we are doing a giveaway today. You can just go interact on Twitter. All you have to do, we're actually giving away UFD today, $150 to one person. So all you have to do is engage with the post, and then you just need to buy $5 of UFD and put it in the screenshots. It's pretty simple. Just go buy $5. I think it's fairly inexpensive. And then just screenshot that you bought it, similar to how Tiltum Sol did here. And then when you do that, you can be entered in. You don't have to be live on stream to win this. I'll do a giveaway later on today, and I'll just post in the comments like I always do who won, and then I'll message you for you to be able to give me your wallet address for me to be able to send you the winning. So yeah, just look out for that. And if you haven't entered, that's how you enter. Go enter. Honestly, there's only 55 comments right now, so at the very most, there's only 55 people that have entered. Out of all of the ones I did, this one I wanted it to be a little more interactive and people have to actually do something instead of just liking it. And so because of that, or just like commenting a friend, this one takes a little bit more commitment. And so I like that because that means the people that are committed, that are following me, that are kind of the consistent people who are willing to do this, those are the people that'll potentially win. This is a really good chance. Right now you have a 1 in 55 chance of winning $150, way better than any lottery you'll enter into. Maybe by the end of the day, you'll be 1 in 100. Who knows? But either way, really good odds. So make sure to go into that if you want to win. I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and sometimes on Fridays as well. Today I'm streaming because I did not stream yesterday. And sometimes I'll just stream on Fridays, just kind of depending. And so I appreciate y'all coming to watch me. I have YouTube and I have Twitter. Make sure to check me out. Let's see here. Yeah, UFD does look like it's bouncing a little bit here, so that's a good sign. Back into range of where we were. Let's see here. ARC's still doing good as well. And if you're looking at YNE, oh wow, YNE is launching. Let's look at YNE and swarms. Obviously, we got out of YNE, but it's absolutely getting obliterated right now. We got out after it kind of moved around like this, around here, but obviously it's doing really good right now. The volume's picked up on it a lot. See what people are talking about in Discord. Yeah, I'm going to give away some vector codes as well. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, let me see if I can get them here. I have a few codes to give away. I'm actually just going to manually type them on Twitter, the Twitter chat. Zenitsu, I'm up from the $5 I bought. Yeah, when I made the post, UFD was at like 85 or 90 million. So if you would have bought the $5 when I made the post, you'd actually be up. Now, the reason why I only made it $5 is because if it goes down, I didn't want people to lose a bunch of money either. And so that's why I just did the $5. All right, I think I'm just manually typing this code in. If you have the app downloaded, you need to have it downloaded to enter this code. You want to download it. You want to open up the app. It's going to ask you to enter in the code, right? And so you want to be ready to do that because I'm about to put the code in the chat. I'm dropping one here. Actually, I'm going to do 2 codes. Let's do 2 codes. All right, I'm dropping 2 vector codes on the Twitter chat, and whoever gets them first gets them. Congratulations to anybody who gets this. Good luck. If you don't know what Vector is, it's a TradeFi, SocialFi app where you can copy trade, you can broadcast your trades out. People can see how much money others have made, P&L and stuff like that off of it. And so really cool. Yeah, Swarms is still fighting, doing really good. So is Yes No. UFD continue to break back down. So we'll continue to watch it. Volume still really, really high though on it. And ARC still doing really, really well also. You can see these are the pools that we have up right now. Our UFD pool is a one-sided pool just to sell out on the way up and collect fees at the same time. Hopefully somebody got those codes. Fartcoin doing over 65%. That's awesome. Let's look at Fartcoin. Still can't see the code. That's weird. I posted it. That's weird that y'all can't see it. Maybe it's just like delayed or something. I posted it in the chat. I wonder if it's like delayed, if it's not showing up for some reason. I'll send it again. Maybe when I put it in, it like shows up at the top of my comments or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it wouldn't show up. Do y'all see the codes? I sent them again. I can't see the code either. Huh, that's weird. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in the comments of the UFD giveaway. I just put it in the comments of the 10 Days of Christmas giveaway for UFD. There's two codes there. You can see them. Hopefully I entered them right because I manually typed them. Yeah, Y&E is still absolutely sending. This is crazy. It's crazy to see stuff send like this. Let me see what Sol's doing. So make sure I don't have any lingering tokens in the wallet. I do have some Fartcoin lingering. Yeah, Sol's still doing good. Still having some good fight, moving up slowly. So that's a good sign. You use the code. What you mean what to do with it? You have to download the Vector app. And then when you go to try to log into it, they'll have you enter a code. And the code, yeah, both of them are used. They got used. And then you have access to the Vector app. Any trades and stuff you do on that, because I give you a referral code, I'll get a little kickback. But overall, the whole idea of the Vector app is that you can buy and sell and trade. They have really fast charting and stuff like that. You can see what I post whenever I buy stuff, what other people post about when they buy stuff. And so overall, it's just a really cool app, good mix of TradeFi, SocialFi. I think it's going to end up doing really, really well in the long run. The Tensor team made it. They're really awesome. I posted and did a giveaway talking about them yesterday. And so, yeah, it's a cool app. I'll be giving away some more as well. I'll probably give away some more tomorrow. But yeah, Sol's looking good. Watching UFD fight back here a little bit, so that's a good sign. I'm going to get out of Y&E and Swarms both. These are doing really, really well. Fartcoin still doing well. I think it's at a lower end right now, but still looking strong. I think I'm going to get some Fartcoin, and I'm going to do a two-sided pool on it. We're going to do 50 Sol worth. Pretty sure I've got a bunch of Sol sitting in the wallet right now. Let's see that I want to start to use. Yeah. Let's do 55 Sol. Yeah. And then we're going to set up a two-sided 20 bin pool, which is the one that people have been saying has been doing really well. 20 bin is normally a really tight range, but it's a percentage based, right? So when you're looking at like really high market cap coins, you can do a tighter pool and it's still like stay in range longer compared to doing a 20 bin on like a 5 million. That's a little bit different. The vector codes, I just explained that they are for the Vector app, which is a TradeFi, SocialFi app that Tensor has created. and it's a really good product that I like. All right, let's set up some Fartcoin pools here. The 20 bin 0.2. We're just going to do a spot. We'll add it. It's doing 7% roughly up and down on the 20 bin. This is the same bin step and fee structure that Sol USD does, and there's a lot. But Fartcoin and Sol are going to end up doing. Oh wait, I'm stupid. I literally put in like almost no money there, $107. Did the yeah, there we go. This hadn't updated. It just showed a little bit that I had left, so I need to add it now like this. All right, and we'll see how much we earn from there. So we have the Fartcoin. We have UFD on a one-sided on the way up, which is right at just out of my range. As it moves back up into the 120 or higher, it'll be in my range. And so we'll see where it goes from here. It could come back down more before breaking back up. But overall, I'm holding UFD, believing that it'll go up in the long haul. So we're just going to keep this pool open because our last purchase price of UFD was around the 120 range. And so that's why we added it back in here. So that way we're not selling any lower than what we bought it for. Again, this is only something I'm doing because I believe this will go up in the long term. Will it break back above 200 million to 230 or anything like that? I'm not sure. But I do think it'll go up in the long haul. So I'll just leave this pool open, even if it's not earning. We'll see what it does. We'll continue to do ARC as well as Fartcoin as well. These are both seem to be doing really, really well. So let me ask, does Sol being cheaper play into any of these plays today? Like you acquiring more Sol than you would if it was like at 250 sometimes, but usually not like a significant amount. I'm still going to continue to do kind of the same strategy I would otherwise. And so, yeah, but it does a little bit. I think that I like to be a little more aggressive with my Sol when it's a cheaper price on coins like Fartcoin or ARC and stuff like that, because I feel like I'm getting more bang for my buck because Sol will not move up as fast as they do. So for instance, Sol may move up 10%. It may go from 190 to 198, right? Something like that. And so like that's really good. It moved up 10%, but in the same regard, if it goes from 190 to 198, something like ARC may go up 15 or 20%, right? So it's like when it's down like this, the more I put my Sol into things that I think should move up over time, the better. Now, of course, I don't just throw it into everything, and I still am holding a large chunk of Sol for it to come back up also. But yeah, so that's part of the consideration that I take in. Hey, we are almost at 600 people live on a Friday. Thank y'all so much for being here. I know it's your Friday. You could be spending your time anywhere, but you're spending it with me. I appreciate that. As always, I stream on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We do have a giveaway here. Make sure you go enter it if you want to win $150. Right now, you have a 1 in 73 chance that may move up as the day goes on to win $150. Much better than any sort of lottery that you're probably used to trying to win on. I won't be doing it here on live stream. I'll be doing it later today. I'll post in the comments who wins. And I will ask for your wallet and I'll send you the money that way. So if you haven't already, make sure to go enter on the post and engage with it in other ways as well. As always, any amount of engagement that you'll give me on any of my posts really, really help me out. Obviously, I spend a lot of time and effort with my guides, with my live streams and stuff like that every day. I am trying to get monetized, and that requires me to have a lot of engagement and impressions and stuff like that on Twitter. So I appreciate y'all doing any amount of that. I am going to be hopping off here shortly. If y'all have any other questions or thoughts, you can always join the Feed Printers Discord. It is a free Discord with lots of good community there, people chatting and talking about different coins and what they're doing. You could also DM me on Twitter. I really appreciate the community that we built and are continuing to build. And so, yeah, I hope y'all have a great weekend and a happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates that as well. I will be in town with my mom this weekend, going out of town to go into town where my mom lives and be spending time with her as well as some friends over the holidays. So I'll be a little less active, but I'll still be somewhat active, and I'll still obviously be doing my giveaways. So make sure to look out for those over this weekend and then leading up to Christmas Day. Also give you all some updates on, the market in general and Sol as I see some big movements taking place. As of right now, I still feel fairly confident. Think that we'll see some slow push up. I don't think we'll go much lower than we are now if we do. But unless something catastrophic happens, obviously. So I think we're in a good spot here. Remember not to worry or fear too much. Obviously, you want to make wise decisions on the plays that you do, but ultimately try to have conviction and stuff as well. And yeah, best of luck to y'all. Hopefully, y'all learned something today, and y'all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays from Token Guy. See y'all.